In Monster Hunter World, there are many aspects to consider when taking on a hunt. The target, your weapon, these are all important, but hunters who want optimal performance need to consider the build they use via the armor and gear they wear. I'm Darcblade, and here are even more builds that I use for the lance. The skills that you can gain from armor and even some weapons can help shape your hunter into specialized hunting machines. With the lance, the weapon could be considered one of the best defensive weapons in the game, but its offensive options should not be discounted. With the build shown in this video, you'll find a couple of DPS ones alongside some survival ones. Whether you prefer an offensive lance style or defensive, these builds should come in handy in taking on the toughest monsters that Monster Hunter World has to offer. So the first build I use is the Elementalist build version 2.0. This build is a very high DPS build that utilizes Elementalist weapons. It also comes with a moderate amount of health regen as well. So for this build you'll need the Kaiser Crown Gamma, the Draken Van Braces Alpha, Nergigante Coil Gamma, and the Nergigante Greaves Gamma. I'm also using a Handicraft Charm 3, and for my weapon I'm using the Taroth Crest Claw. This has an affinity increase augmentation on it, as well as a health regen augmentation. As for your jewels, I've gone for an Elementalist jewel to provide us with that non-elemental boost skill, Flawless jewels to max out peak performance, Mighty jewel for maximum might, Critical jewels to max out crit boost, some expert jewels to add some critical eye, and finally a sharp jewel to provide us with that protective polish skill. So if you've done what I've done here, you should have a build with 100 health, 100 stamina, 543 attack, which will actually be higher on a hunt thanks to peak performance. You'll have white sharpness, 100% affinity so long as you have maximum stamina with no element. You also have a strong defense, especially against fire, but you're fairly weak to thunder and dragon. As for the skills, you have Critical Eye at level 6. Critical Eye boosts our affinity by a base percentage. Attack boost level 4, this increases our attack, and also when it's at level 4 it provides an extra 5% affinity. You have Crit boost level 3, increasing the damage of our critical hits. Handicraft level 3, increasing the sharpness of our weapon. Peak performance level 3, which increases the build's attack so long as your health is full. You have maximum might level 3, again increasing our affinity by a set percentage so long as we have maximum stamina. You have agitator level 1, a byproduct of the gear but can still be useful as when a monster becomes enraged it increases our attack and affinity slightly. You'll also have protective polish level 1. Protective polish allows us to put a protective coating over our sharpness gauge, preventing any sharpness loss for a short duration, and you'll have non-elemental boost level 1. Non-elemental boost boosts the power of weapons who have their element hidden or no element whatsoever. You also have the set bonus Nergigante's Hunger, Hasten Recovery, allowing us to recover some health when we attack a monster. This does also stack with the health regen augmentation, so as long as we're offensive, we can keep getting our health back. This also plays in well with peak performance, allowing us to keep the skill active without having to always manually sheathe and use a potion. So there you have it. As you can see, it is a straightforward DPS build, utilising the majority of DPS focused skills. Now of course you can use other weapons instead of the Taroth Crest Claw, but this weapon naturally comes with high amounts of affinity, giving us that 100% so long as we have maximum stamina. It's so high that we don't have to really even make use of weakness exploit, but nonetheless this is a very strong build, able to bring down monsters quite quickly so long as you're careful when it comes to taking hits. Ultimately though, the lance naturally has that massive shield to protect the user from incoming attacks, so you should be alright. Anyway, let's move on to the next build, which is the Sha or Kya DPS build. This is again a DPS build focusing on using and utilising any of the Sha weaponry, whether it be elemental or element. For the purpose of this build, I'll be showing off a fire elemental build. So for this build you'll need the Kaiser Crown Gamma, the Nergigante Male Beta, Kaiser Van Braces Gamma, Nergigante Coil Gamma, and the Kaiser Greaves Gamma. I'm also using a Blaze Charm 3, and for my weapon I'm using the Sha Crest King. This has a health regen augmentation attached to it. As for your jewels, I've gone for Tenderizer jewels to max out weakness exploit, Handicraft jewels to provide some extra sharpness to the weapon, a shield jewel to provide us with that guard up skill, and finally Vitality jewels to give us some extra health. So if you've done what I've done here, you should have a build with 150 health, which will actually be 200 health when you're on a hunt and taking all of your consumables. You'll have 100 stamina, 426 attack with white sharpness, 60% affinity, which is actually 100%, so long as you have maximum stamina and are going for monster weak points. You'll have a fire rating of 490, with a decent defense that is incredibly strong against fire, but you're fairly weak to water and ice. As for the skills, you'll have Critical Eye level 7, Health Boost level 3, which increases our maximum health, Fire Attack level 3, which increases the fire rating of our build, Weakness Exploit level 3. Weakness Exploit increases our affinity by a certain percentage when we attack monster weak points. Handicraft level 3, Maximum Might level 3, Agitator level 1, a byproduct of the gear, but like I said in the previous build, it can still be useful. Guard Up level 1, that allows us to block unblockable attacks. And Critical Element level 1. Critical Element allows the elemental portion of our attack to be increased when we crit a monster, and as you should pretty much be able to get that 100% affinities as long as you're hitting monster weak points, you should always be able to take advantage of this. You also have the set bonus Teostra's Technique, Master's Touch, preventing any sharpness loss when we crit a monster. And as I said, as this build has a high affinity, we shouldn't see that sharpness gauge go down to blue, so long as you're accurate with your attacks. So as you can see, this is a very powerful elemental build with the lance, and it's easily customizable. It can be used with any of the Shah weaponry. Simply swap out the weapon as well as the charm to match whatever ailment or element you are using, and you're good to go. This build has definitely high DPS, but on top of that it also has extra survivability thanks to the health regen augmentation, health boost and guard up. But regardless, this is one of my personal favourites as it can be used with any of the Shah weapons, like I said, making it incredibly customizable as well as very potent. Anyway, let's move on to the next build, which is the health regen build. This build provides us incredible health regeneration, adding to our survivability, as well as gives us some DPS options. So for this build you need the Empress Crown Beta, the Valhazak Mel Gamma, Valhazak Braces Beta, Valhazak Coil Gamma, and the Empress Greaves Beta. I'm also using an Attack Charm 3, and for my weapon I'm using the Empress Lance Ruin. This has a health regen augmentation attached to it. As for your jaws, I've gone for a mixed bag here. First I've gone for Medicine Jaws to max out the Recovery Up skill, Recovery Jaws to max out the Recovery Speed skill, Vitality Jaws to max out the Health Boost skill, an Attack Jaw to get our attack boost to level 4, a Flawless Jaw to provide us that maximum peak performance, Tenderizer Jaws to max out Weakness Exploit, a Handicraft Jaw increasing the sharpness of our weapon, a Shield Jaw to provide us with that Guard Up skill, a Jumping Jaw to max out the Evade Extender skill, and a Sharp Jaw to provide us with that Protective Polish skill. So if you've done what I've done here, you should have a build with 150 health, which will be 200 health when on a hunt and you've taken consumables, 150 stamina, which again will be 200 stamina when you're on a hunt and taking consumables, 499 attack, which again will be higher thanks to peak performance when on a hunt, white sharpness, 55% affinity, so long as you're attacking monster weak points, with 150 blast rating. You also have a decent defense that is incredibly strong against water and thunder, but you're fairly weak to the other elements. As for the skills, you'll have attack boost level 4, health boost level 3, recovery up level 3. Recovery up increases the amount of health we recover through healing abilities, moves and items. Recovery speed level 3, which increases the rate at which our health will recover naturally over time, but this is normally restricted to the red portion of your health bar. You have weakness exploit level 3, peak performance level 3, evade extender level 3. Evade extender increases the distance at which we can perform evade moves. This does apply to the hop of the lance, allowing us some extra maneuverability. You'll have Dragon Attack level 1, a byproduct of the gear, it's not really useful at all. Handicraft level 1, Guard Up level 1, Protective Polish level 1, and Hasten Recovery level 1. Hasten Recovery is normally found on the Nergigante set bonus, but it can also be found on the Empress Lance Ruin. This provides us with extra health regen when we attack a monster, and it also stacks the health regen augmentation. As for the set bonuses, you'll have Valhazak's Vitality Super Recovery. This allows our health to heal itself naturally over time past the red portion of your health bar, basically allowing all our health to recover naturally over time. You'll also have the Lunostra's Favour Stamina Cap Up, increasing our maximum stamina from 100 to a potential 200. This Stamina Cap Up also comes in handy for when we're blocking attacks, as the more stamina you have, the more you can block. So there we have it. As you can see, the build is very strong when it comes to health regen. Obviously you have the Valhazak's Vitality Super Recovery, allowing our entire health bar to regenerate on its own over time. You don't even have to be hitting a monster. This combined with recovery speed and recovery up means that the heal over time will be even more effective. However, you can heal yourself even quicker if you start attacking a monster as well. The recovery up combined with the hasten recovery as well as the health regen augmentation combined with the heal over time means that with this build rarely should you have to stop and take a potion. You also do have some minor DPS options thanks to weakness exploit, attack boost and peak performance, and with your health being regened constantly all the time, the peak performance skill should be active for the majority of the hunt. Of course, this build can be changed slightly. If you want to make it more defensive, for example, you could drop the attack charm 3 in favour for the Ironside charm 3. This will provide you with the guard skill, allowing your guard, your block, to become even stronger. as it reduces the amount of stamina it takes to block a monster's attack. But regardless, when using this build you may find that hunts take a little bit longer, but the trade-off will be that you're fairly safe when taking on whatever monster you have in your sights. Anyway, let's move on to our fourth and final build, which is the defensive tank build. This build is a little bit of a quirky build that turns the lance into a bit more of a straightforward tank build. It does have some damage options and health regen options, but when using this build you should notice that you rarely can't. So for this build you'll need the Empress Crown Gamma, Empress Mel Beta, the Nergigante Vambraces Gamma, Nergigante Coil Gamma, and the Nergigante Greaves Gamma. I'm also using the Ironside Charm 3, and for my weapon I'm using the Empress Lance Sticks. This has a health regen augmentation attached to it. As for your jaws, now we have a lot to play with here. First of all, I've gone for a shield jaw to provide us with that guard up skill. I've then gone for tenderizer jaws to max out weakness exploit, vitality jaws to provide us with that maximum health boost, a sharp jaw to provide us with that protective polish skill, and then finally I've gone for defense jaws to provide us the defense boost skill. So if you've done what I've done here, you should have a build with 150 health, which will actually be 200 health when on a hunt, 100 stamina, which again will be potentially 200 stamina when on a hunt and you've taken your various consumables, 476 attack, which will be higher when on a hunt thanks to peak performance, with white sharpness, 25% affinity, which will actually be 75% affinity so long as you're going for monster weak points and have maximum stamina, with 240 blast rating, with a very strong defense especially against fire and water, but you're fairly weak to dragon. As for the skills, you'll have the following. You'll have defense boost level 7, increasing our overall defense as well as elemental resistances. You'll have attack boost level 4, health boost level 3, weakness exploit level 3, peak performance level 3, guard level 3. Guard basically increases the effectiveness of the shield and blocking monster attacks. The higher the guard, the less stamina it costs to take the impact of the incoming hit. You'll have wide range level 2, a byproduct of the gear, but still can be kind of useful when you're playing with others. Basically, wide range allows a portion of the effects of your consumables, so your potions and that, to be passed on to your allies. So if you drink a potion, then your allies will also be healed. You'll also have Heartbreaker level 1, a byproduct of the gear, but can be useful when it comes to breaking monster parts. Agitator level 1, again a byproduct. Maximum Might level 1, Guard Up level 1, Protective Polish level 1, and you'll have the Razor Sharp skill level 1. The Razor Sharp skill is normally the Xenojiva set bonus, but it can be also found on the Empress Lance Sticks. This halves all sharpness loss when using this weapon, and this combined with the Sharp Jaw and Protective Polish means that our sharpness gauge should stay white for quite a long time. You'll also have the set bonuses Nergigante's Hunger, Haste and Recovery, allowing us to recover health when we attack a monster, which does stack with the health regen augmentation, as well as the Lunostra Favor set bonus, Stamina Cap Up, increasing our maximum stamina. So, as you can see, this is a very strong defensive build aimed at being able to take those hits with your shield. It does have some health regen options, thanks to the Nergigante set bonus as well as the health regen augmentation, so you shouldn't have to always sheathe your weapon and take a potion. It also will allow us to potentially keep peak performance going a little bit longer than if we didn't have any health regen. It does also come with some DPS options thanks to weakness exploit, attack boost and peak performance, but high DPS was not the idea behind this build. The idea behind this build was survivability, being able to survive the hits, being able to block the strongest of monster attacks and come away with it with minimal damage. Thanks to the Stamina Cap Up, Guard level 3 and the Guard Up skills, you're able to block pretty much all incoming monster attacks. And on top of that, with the defense boost at level 7 as well as the health boost at level 3, it means that should you not be able to block an attack, say you get caught unaware, then rarely will you be one-shotted by a monster's attack. Of course though, this build is highly customizable. If you don't want to go for maximum defense boost, you could add some extra iron war jewels should you want to max out the guard skill, or you could go a more offensive route by adding some expert jewels. The choice is up to you. So there we have it, those are even more builds that I like to use for the lance. Of course, Monster Hunter World is always being updated with new monsters and gear, which can potentially cause these builds to change and become even stronger, especially with Iceborne on the horizon. So if any major updates happen to any of these builds, I'll be sure to release an updated video. Remember also that almost any task in Monster Hunter World can be taken on with any weapon and gear set. You don't have to use what is shown in these videos. These are just the sets that I personally like to use. But anyway, I hope you found this video helpful or informative, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you even more builds that I use for the lance in Monster Hunter World. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.